I'm guessing this is working. It says the little clock is going, so I'm gonna go ahead and just hello. It's been today is what is today? It's Thursday, the July 3rd. This past weekend I competed in the summer death race, and I just would like to first start off this video and seriously just, if I get emotional, just realize like it's so genuine that it hurts, that I am so grateful for the support, for the experience that I had, despite it being not what I wanted. It actually ended up being exactly what I needed. You know, sometimes we're dying for this certain outcome that we believe is going to fix everything, that we believe is what we truly need, but then all of a sudden it goes completely differently, and we learn something that we didn't think we were going to learn, and learn to love. Maybe I should... okay, I'll leave it right there. But let's start. So what I would like to say is a huge thank you, especially to everyone over at Team Norton. I'm posting this on the Team Norton page. I don't know if you're familiar with Lane Norton, but he is part of my coach, and I just want to tell you, like, thank you is way too genuine, but I'm seriously thankful for everyone over there. Sean, Tiffany, Janine, Alex. I mean, like, it's not even fair for me to start naming names because everyone at Team Norton has seriously played such a huge role in my in my betterment as a person, and I look to this page and these people as lots of support. And I also have a lot of other people out there that I would love to thank, but if I do that, this video is going to be way too long, concerning if this video even works. Shit, I hope it does. But let's start from the beginning of my adventure. So it was Wednesday of last week, and I was supposed to head out to Boston, where I was going to be picked up at 6 in the morning by my good friend Darren D. Haas, and we were going to travel all the way to Vermont, which was only a 3-hour drive. Well, to start things off, I need some PDA. My flights get delayed. Which was not that big of a deal, but I was going to miss connection flights, so I go to get that fixed. It ends up taking forever, and the airlines were just being very, like, inconsistent. They would start typing and be like, wait, I gotta go do something. And so that was annoying, and they ended up being able to get me to Boston that night at 2:30 in the morning. I arrived, and of course they lost my baggage. I didn't have any of my baggage. And so, like, all of my race gear, my axe, my food, my buckskin, everything that I needed for that race was in that bag. Now, luckily, my crew member was in Boston, and he was staying in the airport with me. So we were able to kind of, like, figure this out. And they're like, well, your bag should maybe get on the first flight tomorrow. So me and him slept in the airport. It was magical. It was great. As frustrating as it was, like, I kind of almost miss it because it was, you know, misery brings appreciation, and it truly takes a kind heart to get the courage to be able to appreciate the little things in life. And so, as little as it was, sleeping in the airport, yeah, it sucked, but it's like I had shelter, right? And so finally I get my bag at 11 that morning, and we head to Vermont. I was so tired. I slept like a little baby girl in the car. We stopped and got some maple whiskey with my good friend Rob, and we had planned to, like, take shots, you know, halfway through this race. And it's not that I was scared of this event. It's kind of funny to talk about it, and, you know, when I did it back in 2012, it honestly gave me nightmares. It changed my life, and I hope that by me expressing and telling you what it does, what I've taken from it, that it can help change your life. Obviously, you don't have to go do a dying death race to really learn how to appreciate life and how to take things not for granted and to get out of your comfort zone. But this is I've been in such chronic and self-induced struggles and pain that, like, being put in such uncomfortable positions like that, it's comfortable to me because I asked for that pain. You know, I wasn't born with it. You know, it was there. I can control that boulder digging into my skin, and it just helps me learn. It just helps me be better. And sounds crazy, but it's it. And so that Thursday, like, we're in the mountains. I don't have much cell service, and it's good. You know, I'm kind of away. We had dinner, and I ended up having an interview that evening prior to the race. Just spoke about my bulimia and what this race kind of meant to me and what makes you tick as a human, which is always an intriguing question. Everyone wants to know how you keep going despite a struggle, despite anything, and it's kind of dumbfounds me. I don't understand it. It's just like, what do you expect to do when you have adversity in front of you? Because that shit happens all the time. What are you supposed to just be like, well, this just sucks, I guess I'll give up? Like, is that really what people do? I'm sorry, I don't see the point in that. Things aren't always going to go your way. There's 365 days in a year. You can't. It's fucking silly to expect it to be perfect all the time. It's fucking silly to expect yourself to be 100% there and to have everything you ever wanted be just a grip away. And to just take everything for granted. It's just, you know, I could just sit here and ramble all day. So, you know, the race starts at 9, and we have some time trials up this mountain that's like about 3 miles, and, you know, we're running it, and they're yelling at us to run it fast. And now I know how this kind of goes. Your first 24 hours, you kind of need to be conservative. They're just going to slam you with manual labor work, which is what they did. We ended up having to carry and drag all these heavy boulders and rocks, you know, up this ridiculous mountain and build stair walls. Sorry, I'm thirsty. And so we did this for approximately about 9 hours. There's parts where I literally, like, almost died because we had this boulder up on this, like, little rig that we made, and, you know, I slipped and almost went down, and then it almost slipped and it hit one of my good friends in the head, and he was down for a while. Kind of dramatic stuff like that, and it's just kind of like labor work. So it's just, you know, you're just grinding out there, and you don't know when you're going to stop, and it's just kind of like an annoyance, right? You're like, well, I thought this was a race. Why am I doing all these chores? It's so you can freaking appreciate shit. So you can team build, so you can learn to accept unfairness, right? So this stuff doesn't faze me. I am in happiness. So happy. And so we do that, and then, you know, we go on our first kind of like then we're on solo events, and, you know, we're rucking, and I end up, you know, there's parts where I had to ruck up this mountain called Blood Root with the log, and I got to the top of the log. I was instructed that I had to get the freshest of freshest water, and I had to make a cup. And so I'm looking at my log, right, and I'm looking at it, pretend this is a log, and I'm like, shit, this is going to be a bitch. I'm going to have to fucking dig, like, a hole, you know, a cup. And so I start, and I'm thinking, and I was like, you know, everything's about being outside the box. I've got some Ziploc bags. Let's see. So I get these Ziploc bags, and then I go on a little adventure down the trail, and I find a spring filled up with water, go up to the race director, and he accepts it. And I'm like, score! I'm freaking smart, thinking outside the box, and I, like, bust ass running down the trail. You know, it's about 10 miles, and I'm just booking it the whole way, and I'm just, you know, pure happiness. So then my next challenge, it's getting nightfall now, my next challenge is to make a buckskin outfit, and it has to be 108 stitches. So I'm going, and I'm not a good stitcher, I'm not a good little lady, and I'm just, And I'm just like a little chicken. I'm a chicken, and I make my little outfit as simple as I can. Then after that, we're instructed that those logs that we have to drill a hole in the middle of it so our porcupine can fall straight through. But if you split that log in half, donezo, you're disqualified. So 2.5 hours of me getting my knife and whittling away. At one point, I broke my knife. I broke the tip. Now, I didn't really break mentally. I never once broke mentally at all. Like, I just, for a split second, when my knife broke, I let out a big fuck, and then I just stayed there, and I just like I picked up the knife, right, and all the spectators and crew were right there, and they're like, "Ella, calm down," and I was like, "It's okay, everything's all Gucci, unicorn good," like, and so I'm thinking, and like, I see someone starting to saw it in half. And it registers to me that if I saw it in half just to that line where the middle's at, I can get that thing through and not split it all the way. So I saw it. We are having a time hack. If we don't hit it at 12:15 in the morning, then we have 500 burpees. And I don't want to fucking do that. So I'm just, I get it. I complete. I move on to the next task. Next task is like I don't know, like 20-mile ruck or something. I can't exactly remember, all the way out to this bullshit area where we had to do like 1,500 burpees. We had to make a homemade axe. We had to chop down a tree, which was cool. I like that shit. Chopped down a tree. I made an axe out of stones and logs and rope. Then I did 1,500 burpees. What else did I do at that night time? And after that, we had to ruck back, so it's early in the morning. When we get back to base camp, we have a time trial where we have to run up that same mountain and same back. So me and my good friend Mark, we were kind of like hooked up together now, and we're running it. And after we do the time trial, we get back to base camp, and we have to do 200 somersault rolls. Now, I didn't find the somersault rolls to be that hard, but everyone around me was puking everywhere, and people were just, oh, it was a shit show. It was a shit show early in the race. I mean, I was just like flipping around like a little roly-poly. It was like no big deal. So I do that, and it's time to progress onward, and I have time to kind of rest up and get some food in me because I want to stay with Mark. This is all about surviving, and I really love that guy like to death, and he actually reached out to me when I opened up about my bulimia, and he's been probably one of like the biggest people that has helped me. And you know, it's hard to talk to people that aren't in that position, and you know, it's hard. And so I really respect him, and it was great that me and him had our escape together. And so we had then we had our orienteering, which I'm a little proud of. Like, so we were given a map. Oh no! Before that, we had to go back, run up the mountain, and we had to make fire. So we made the fire, and then we came back down. I made a fire like out of sticks, and it was like all like, oh no, like cool. I'm so survivally woman. And after that, then we go on our orienteering where we had to get 4 points, and each little like point destination was different points. So me and Mark plan it out, and we go to these points, and we end up getting super lost. And we actually had to pay this woman at the bottom of this hill to drive us to the top of this hill. If we had not done that, we would have not made our time hack at 4 p.m. And so luckily we had extra money on us because we were supposed to carry about $100 on us. And so we do that. We get back to the top of the mountain. We cut it so close to the 4 p.m. cutoff. It's not even funny. I was getting so sick to the stomach. I was like, if I get kicked out, if I get disqualified due to not hitting this time hack, I'm going to be sick. I want this. And it's funny I say that now. And so we do that time hack. So at this point, I've covered about 80 miles. And my body is feeling great. My feet are solid. People around me are having blisters and trench foot already. And my feet are just banging, man. And that's the #1 thing. The only issue was I was chafed like a crazy woman. The chafe was real in my crotch. Not even gonna lie. My quads were fine, but like the crotch and like glute area got like too baggy, my tights, and so they were I was not happy down there. That's just real talk. And so anyways, we get to this part where we are instructed that we have to drop our rucks off. They take our rucks from us, and we have to dump all our shit, nutrition, gear, food, etc., 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 into this big dumbass pile of everyone's stuff. And we're told that we're about to take a matching quiz, or matching test, and it's over all these ancient and historic explorers. And you know, initially I'm just like, okay, brain engaged. I know it's going to be retardedly hard. But it was, I mean, it's like historical people that, like, I knew maybe like 3 out of the 26. So what we're told is we had to take this quiz, and it had to be 100% correct. If it was incorrect by the time we turned it in, we were disqualified. What we can do is we can ask Jack, which was one of the race directors, a yes or no question about our thing. So we could be like, is 26 number B? Or number, is 26 letter B? Not number B. Still tired. And so we could ask them that question. But before we asked them that question, we had to hold a yoga pose for either 10 or 20 minutes. So you would hold this stupid pose for 10 to 20 minutes, then you'd stand in line, which took forever, then you'd ask your question, then you'd go and do another 10 to 20 minute yoga pose. Then you would go back, and you weren't allowed to look at any of the other racers or just talk or any. Yeah, we were told if we cannot talk. If we talk, we're disqualified, and they made that very clear. But even the race director, Andy, instructed the volunteers not to talk to us unless it was a yes or no question. I was constantly a target. I'm not saying that like as a bitterment, because I accept the fact that I'm known. Most vets in these races are just hammered and target. If you're somebody, they're gonna make sure that you have the hardest time. This is also part of unfairness. This is just what life is. You know, it's just never gonna go your way, and you're gonna have to learn to roll with the punches when shit hits the fan. And shit was hitting the fan, and perhaps. I won't get, okay, I'll tell the story. So, I had done this for 7 hours. It was going on 7 hours, and it was getting very cold in the night, and it's getting hard for me to keep my body temperature. I haven't had food in about 8 hours. My brain is getting tired, but like I feel good. Like I'm there. My body is strong. My mind is there, and you know, kind of fighting off a little bit of the dizzy tiredness, and you know, I'm just like, okay, this test obviously doesn't mean shit. I just have to grind this out. I'm pretty sure they're going to cut us off at 12. We're going to continue on to the race, because no one is going to get this test. The lead runner had been there for 12 hours. And so I'm just, you know, I'm like, come on, I'll grind. It's fine. Like, I wasn't even feeling negative whatsoever. I was watching people around me drop out due to frustration. I was watching people try to turn in their tests, and you know, of course there was questions wrong, and they'd get that wrong. And I saw people just try to quit because they just didn't see they could do it anymore. So, you know, observing that is always kind of interesting. You kind of benchmark yourself. You're like, all right, well, my head is still there. I haven't once tried to approach them and tell them, you know, I'm done. I haven't had that thought creep into my head. And I mean, the passion that I had was just overwhelming. So it's to the point where I'm doing my pose to go stand in line. The pose is where like your feet go down next to your back, and you're kind of like a little roly-poly. Kind of almost relaxing. A little strenuous for my back just due to the metal and, you know, tightness. And so I'm doing this pose, and you know, it's cold out, so I had like put my hair down, and I had like wrapped it around my face to help keep me warm. And I ended up turning my brain off just too much. And you know, in these races, I always tell people, and it's always smart to turn your brain off and then turn another part on. So what I'm saying by that is, like, you turn your brain off to where you stop thinking. You stop thinking about emotions and hormones. Like, none of that matters. You are not just this, because this is what you want. You want to break down. Like, I always say I want to see my unicorns. What I mean by that is a unicorn, yeah, it's this mystical creature. You don't see it. So what I mean by I want to see a unicorn is I want to be broken down so badly that I have so much appreciation for life, that I learn so much more about myself, because it seems at that moment that I don't have anything, that there's nothing for me. And I unfortunately didn't see any unicorns. My body was not trashed. I was there, and I was in that pose, and I ended up falling asleep a little bit, and I hear them saying, 259, 259, get it in line, are you okay? And I responded and said, okay, and immediately I swore it was a dream. Like, I put my hands to my face and I was laying there on the ground, and the volunteer was just like, oh, I'm so sorry, but I have to take your bib now. Everyone heard you, you're disqualified. And I just, like, was laying there in pure silence. And, as soon as I got up, I had the biggest emotional release ever. I didn't expect these emotions. I didn't know that my heart was just so there that it was gonna hurt this bad. And, I just bursted into tears, and there was only two things I could say, and I just kept screaming them. I mean, screaming them in sobs. I kept screaming, I wanted this so badly. My body feels so good. And I just kept screaming that. And I'm sitting there and I'm just shaking back and forth screaming this. And some of my friends who had previously quit earlier in the race come running to me and hug me. And I'm just overwhelmed, and I can't believe it. And even one of the other racers just, like, lost his shit and ended up taking his bib off and screaming, this is bullshit, and, like, everything just got very intense for a moment, and I swear it was a dream. Like, I wanted it so badly that for me to be taken out on a technicality was terrible. Like, I would be more okay if I had been disqualified at that moment, if my body was done, if my mind was done, but I was just so there. And it's not like I wanted that material item, that skull, to show that I'm, oh, so cool, like a badass, right? I wanted it to be there because for the first time in such a long time, I had no cell phone. I had no expectations that I was truly aware of. I was in the woods. I was carrying boulders like half my weight, dragging them around. I was, numb to the pancake feeling of my feet. I was going for miles and miles and just grinding, and it was an escape for me. It was an escape from all the chronic pain that I've grown up with, to the bulimia, to the, issues with, sponsorships, etc., etc. I was away. I was ready to be broken down because I actually wanted to be broken down instead of the world breaking me down. And, it was just taken away from me. I didn't have a chance, and, what sucks more so is previous years, if you got disqualified or something like that, you could earn yourself back into the race by doing labor work or like 1,000 burpees, and this year they completely changed it, and what sucked more so is the race director tells me, he was like, you realized you were going to win, the race was over at this moment, and you were fast, you were there, and it's not that I want to win. It's just that I wanted to be away. I wanted, I don't even know how to describe it. My heart hurt so bad. So my body was so good that I ended up rucking back to base camp and turned my bib in, and that was probably the hardest moment ever. I didn't want to give it up. My heart hurt very bad. the passion that I had was just, just spilling out of me. And I get back to Amy Farm, which is like where all the crew members in my crew is at, and I'm very hard-headed and hesitant. I'm like, no, I want to stay here. They're gonna be done soon, and I want to help them out. And so I ended up sitting there and staying for a while. And before I knew it, I passed out, and I guess apparently that guy was sobbing in my sleep, and I woke up to my crew carrying me to the cabin that I was staying in. And the next morning, I was awoken by my good friend Camille, and I was so confused as to why I was in the bed. And when I woke up, I just had such like heaviness, like I couldn't shake it off. And it's funny because when I was out in those woods, everything really does suck. And you're like, oh, I can't wait for a bed and a shower. But in that moment, when I woke up, I had a shower and I had a bed, and I didn't want it because I hadn't earned that appreciation yet. I wasn't down to breaking down. And people nowadays have so much given to them, and I wanted more. I wanted more than just a technicality to crush me. So that next day, Sunday, I came back to the race, and I'm in and out of tears, but I ended up, crewing for all the other athletes that would come in, and I was giving them like cookies and wrapping their feet, and I was drinking whiskey and coffee the whole time. And my heart literally broke so much in the moments of me being disqualified. It was, I didn't expect, I didn't see my event going like this. And but the more I look at it, it really honestly isn't about the skull. I did want it. I will not deny that. Obviously you can tell by the emotions that I really, really wanted it. But it's more than the material in life that you have. It's more than over a trophy, a award. It's the journey you have. And the journey I had was, even despite how much passion you have for something, how much work you put in, how much love you have, something, everything is unfair. But you get to that point in life because of a reason, because of a lesson. And my lesson, I want to say, from this race is, to not take things for granted. I never thought I did, but I thought I was disciplined enough to bite my tongue. And everyone who knows me I'm a giggler. I love to talk. I love people. So I'm proud that I was silent for 7 hours, right? And with them messing with me mentally, I was able to resist, and I just ended up turning my brain off too much. But I was there. That race was it's something that I wish everyone could experience. I'm at a loss for words. I should have written out these poetic philosopher things to say, but what I really want people to realize is that the courage to take a risk, the courage to do something that terrifies you, is often the best thing you could ever do for yourself, whether you believe in yourself or not. You take that leap forward, and you just roll with it. Even when things get shitty, you just go. You turn part of your brain off, and you just go. Someone's got it worse than you, and you just grind forward. And you take those beds for granted? Fuck no. Everything in life you've got to fucking earn. And maybe you can see your unicorns. So, my journey home, supposed to fly home Monday night. Flights are canceled. Oh no, wait. They're delayed, delayed, delayed. Then they're canceled. I can only get to Chicago. I go to Chicago. I stay there. They didn't even ship my stupid luggage to Chicago. So I have no clothes. Then I get home Tuesday at like 2 in the morning. I have to go to classes for massage, and that's my life right now. But I really hope this video works. I really am so thankful for everyone. It was absolutely heartwarming to open my Facebook, my texts, my phone, and just everything, and just see the outrageous amount of love and support that I got. It's just shit. I hope that my vulnerability and my struggles, I hope that they show you that no matter how much you love something and how much you want it, you've got to work so hard, and you've got to love the process and the journey, no matter how terrible it is. And even if the outcome isn't what you wanted, take away the positive. The positive from it, there's always positive. You just got to react properly to it. And you know, I've got better things going on, and don't worry, I'm going to be competing next year. I'm doing Team Death Race in September. Yeah, thank you. And so I don't know my elevation change of the race, but it was probably somewhere around like 200,000, retarded amount. About 82 miles or so. Body feels pretty good, except for left back and leg, or there's something wrong with the nerve. Actually tomorrow, probably going to go do a 12-hour Go Ruck challenge before our brothers serving the military. I love y'all. Cheetah out. Oh God.